Testing, 1, 2, 3.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. Hey, bite down from play one now.
And he is dicked.
Those guys don't all suck.
I love you too. Bye.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
You don't let all the noise affect you. You don't worry about what's going on outside of the field.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned for some good content.
Hey there, gang! Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wooldog, sitting with some Duggan brothers like Kev and Duggan.
I love Justin Herbert so much.
Love him. And let's not forget Kyle, the Coach Duggan.
I'm back. I know you guys don't want Craig, but I'm back. So you're going to have to deal with it. I'm talking to Kevin specifically.
Craig filled in quite nicely for you on the instant reaction. I don't know. Maybe
I told Kevin I couldn't be there, and in nanoseconds, he had Craig lined up ready to go. I don't know how all that lined up. But I'm back.
It happened. It was a whirlwind. We were winning. It was just decisions had to be made, and they happened. So it was meant to be, and it's all right because
thanks for coming on, Craig. You filled in nicely.
You absolutely
did,
Craig.
You did.
We appreciate it. So again, Chargers win against Denver. That's 2 AFC West wins in 2 weeks. We're on a 3-game win streak. I cannot believe it. I mean, what happened? Like that. We get knocked out of playoffs, and now we decide to start winning. Like, what the fuck? Like, where were you guys? Why did this happen? Whatever.
We just needed a couple of these earlier in the season. Just a couple.
It would have at least given us a glimmer of hope, as opposed to just like, all right, let's just take it away. And now all of a sudden we're going to start winning and breaking records.
Yeah.
And
well, first and foremost, I'd like to say, suck it, Melvin Gordon.
Oh yes.
Secondly,
yeah.
I'd like to say Craig brought up a great point on the post game. You two guys, Craig had a great point.
You're really hung up on this.
Craig brought up the point that's like, it feels really good to win, but now that we are out of the playoffs, it's like, if we're going to win, like I want to feel like I want to beat a team so bad that it's like encouraging for next year.
Right.
You know, like in my mind now, still as a fan, I'm like, okay, cool. We can be in close games and we edge them out when it doesn't matter, but are we going to be able to edge them out next year when it does matter? It still feels like that type of team that now we're just kind of getting over on some teams, but it's going to go back to the way it was last year. So obviously it feels good to get the W, but it wasn't like oh man, yeah, look what we're going to be able to do next year type of a win.
Yeah, it wasn't stepping on throats kind of a win. That's what I wanted. Like we came out so hot and heavy. We, clearly we have a good plan going into these games. So we have the plays lined up, and it doesn't hurt when you start off with like a 60-yard return from Adderley. So, and wow, our special teams got pretty good all of a sudden. So I don't know really what to do with that.
Yeah, I don't get
Coach Lynn's a great special teams coach. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's a great head coach.
I know it's hard. We don't like to compliment him much, but I'll give him a little
We'll give him
props for
credit when
looking
credit
better.
is due. Yeah, it's tough to say. We don't even know what kind of a team we're going to have next year. So I totally get it. Yeah, these 3 wins, they've all been within 3 points. So these are all eke by wins, but they're wins, and we gotta just embrace it, just love it, just appreciate it.
I'm very happy. These episodes are way more fun, and we're getting W's, and it feels good on Sunday. My wife's happier. It's all good.
It's all good. So
we're getting dubs and we're setting records, and that's what I'm looking for the most.
Exactly. Let's break some records. If we're not going to break next, let's break records. So let's take a look at what happened this last game. Chargers started the first quarter off with something we're not used to, as Kevin mentioned. It was a 53-yard return from Nasir Adderley. Opening drive ended with a Badgley kick. Chargers were up 3-0. Denver's following drive was capped off with an interception from our boy Casey Hayward. Again, not something we're not used to seeing, at least this year. I think that was his first interception of the year. Broncos tried to put points on the board in the second quarter, but McManus, their kicker, decided to show off how precise he could be by showing off a double doink. That was impressive. I clapped for that for sure.
Oh god, dude, the guy's a sniper. Like I was on Twitter. I was like, dude, like he's got to find a sport where you can kick a ball and hit a pole and get points, and he'll be on fire.
There's got to be an Olympic sport for that for sure.
Yeah, pole kicking.
Chargers followed up with a drive that ended with a touchdown pass to Austin Eckler, solidifying Herbert, setting the record right there on the spot. Later in the quarter, Chargers increased their lead by 3 after another kick by our boy Badgley, and the Chargers go in the half up 13-0. Again, it was a little bit mishandled there at the end of the half, as we talked about on Instant Reaction, but we'll gloss over that. Third quarter only saw the Broncos put 3 points on the board. Nothing from the Chargers. Fourth quarter is when it all started to get kind of scary. It's that scary sandwich. With the Chargers knocking on the goal line door, but they were unable to get a touchdown, so we settled for a Badgley kick, bringing the score to 16-3. And then Broncos would put up a touchdown and 2 field goals to tie the game at 16-16. And boy, does it not feel good. We look to our on-again, off-again kicker, Badgley, who blessedly makes a 37-yarder to get the Bolts up 19-16 with 41 seconds left on the clock. But with no timeouts left from about the 50-yard line, Drew, I danced like an awkward 15-year-old lock, threw a Hail Mary, which saw Mike Williams come down with it, adding an interception to his resume, and another win for the Chargers.
Is it every week, guys? We're just, it's got to be a one-possession game, and it's got to come down to a Hail Mary at the end for us to win.
Yes.
I'm happy that we're coming out with these wins, because sometimes it can be ugly. Sometimes it can be not the most fun to watch, but learning how to win these close games, even though you let them in it to make it a close game, is something we haven't done in a long time. And it's refreshing to get these wins.
We're on the right side of the wins. And again, as we mentioned, this was a game that we didn't have Joey Bosa. We didn't have Nwosu. And for the defense to basically shut out Denver in the first half was impressive. That was nice to see. We didn't really get any sacks, but we held them to no scores. But man, that fourth quarter, it just all came crumbling down. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if we were on our back foot, if we were playing not to lose, or what the issue was. You know, we talk about zone coverage for the defense, and that was it's frustrating because that usually means that their wide receivers are getting catches. But boy, Jerry Jeudy couldn't catch a ball to save his life, and he was totally wide open.
He was one of our better players in that game.
It was our W, unfortunately, came from Jerry Jeudy dropping 9 balls, and their kicker doinking back-to-back field goals. That's how we got our W. Because there was several that hit Jeudy in the hand. One in the end zone, hit him right in the hands, and he just completely dropped it. Yeah. They had a lot. They're not a good team. They're just it was a very poor performance from that team all around. And that's why they didn't win. You can't. Their fans are going to be like, oh, well, if Jeudy would have come. Well, he didn't, because your team's not good. So you lost.
Right.
Well, and it's still my theory on Missouri quarterback still stands. They're just not good in the NFL. Blaine Gabbert, not good in the NFL. Drew Lock is not good in the NFL, and I don't think he's going to be. So there's a lot of conversation about him, them moving on from him already. Right. So that was kind of a short stint, my man.
That's all that the announcer on Sunday could talk about was Drew Lock for the whole first half of the football game. Right. I almost had to turn it off.
They were annoying, man. They were I think I mentioned to you guys, they're like the Cliff Notes crew, where they didn't have very much insight. It was just bullet points. And I was just getting so annoyed with it. So that crew, I know they gave us the what was the soundbite you like?
Oh, and he is dead.
I know that came from that crew.
That came from Spiro, yes.
That's the most they've offered us in terms of games.
So it's okay. We don't watch it for the announcements, that's for sure.
It makes it easier if they're not dicks, though.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. One of the things to also mention, this was not just the game that Herbert solidified as being the rookie quarterback with the most touchdown passes, but also broke 4,000 passing yards. Joining Patrick Mahomes as the only players in NFL history to top 4,000 passing yards through their first 14 starts of a career. Holy cannoli.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty crazy. And it felt like they put the reins on him again a little bit in this game. I know we had to run. There was one point where nobody was open. We were struggling a little bit, and there was one moment I was like, okay, well, we have to run here. I don't normally agree with that, but we had to, and it started to open it up. So I think he probably could have he left some yards on the field there in terms of play calling. And I know some people literally are watching the Chargers for Justin Herbert. They wanted to see him have 3 touchdowns, have 350 yards, and shatter every record.
Well, I think he's already doing so well, and he hasn't really grasped everything that there is to an NFL offense. He's not changing plays at the line. It doesn't seem as though he is to get them in the best possible play against that the way the defense is aligned. So as that comes, it's going to be even more dangerous and prolific as far as his stat sheet goes. Right now, he's doing a great job with just Steichen's play calls, which is pretty incredible.
Right.
Yeah, 4,000 yards. That's impressive.
That is impressive. I mean, for a rookie quarterback, again, his first year in, like he's playing phenomenally. Looking at his stats from this last game, I mean, he only had 33 pass attempts, completing 21 of those for a 63.6 completion percentage, and only threw for 253 yards. And I say only because we're used to these 300-yard games from all the records that he's been breaking. So it definitely felt off, especially in that first quarter. There was some, again, just some miscommunication, some misconnections on getting the ball to some of our wide receivers. I don't know if it's because of a lack of Keenan Allen or what the issue was. Mike Williams obviously made some great catches there, and Guyton made appearances as well as, and Tyron Johnson. I don't remember if T. Billy made any good catches this last game.
He had a good one.
Yeah,
did
he have a couple?
Okay, first. I think it's all about the AFC West. Like no matter what we're doing that year, whenever we play an AFC West team, it's close and it's not extremely impressive in terms of the stat sheet. So I think that was just what we ran into, and we're going to run into it again next week. I think he'll definitely have more yardage next week.
I mean, he still had 250 yards and a touchdown. That's still a pretty impressive and no interceptions.
And our boy, or not our boy, Tua had like 90 and got benched. So dodging bullets.
Such a crazy game. I remember looking at the score, seeing the Raiders were up 13-6, and I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm not overly interested in that game, but to find out that they lost, and not only lost, but lost to Fitzmagic coming in to seal the deal. Like,
yeah,
dude, I love Fitzpatrick.
I do too, man.
I loved watching that guy.
I can't believe he's been
awesome
with as many teams as he has, but he's obviously made an impact at Miami, and good for him. But we're not here to talk about Miami. We're here to talk about the Chargers. Then the post game, the Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, this came from Twitter, Ramirez, says on the rookie record, someone mentioned it to me. Cool stat, means more that we won, which is like, dude, I love you.
Yeah, he's just saying, like we've said in the past, he just says all the right things. Like he's, at least it feels genuine to me. It doesn't feel like he's putting it on. It's just, he's like a selfless guy. You know what I mean?
The thing that stood out to me in this last game, there were some passes from Drew Lock that obviously didn't connect, mostly with Jerry Jeudy, but I think there were some other missed passes. And when the camera showed Drew Lock, he was down on the ground, head in his hands, like overly emotional. And I looked at my dad and I was like, you will never see that from Justin Herbert. He is such a cool cucumber that doesn't matter what mistakes happen on the field, brush it off. Let's move it on to the next play.
Yeah. Even in his debut against Kansas City, when he threw that pick that everyone knew he shouldn't have thrown, he jogged off the field and he was like, no, that was not a good decision. But like, you have to have, I like having emotion, and that's what Phil was. He was a very emotional player. But to some extent, like a sustainability in quality, like to have a consistent quality, you have to have some kind of even keel. Whereas if you're an emotional quarterback and things are going good, things are going great. But then as soon as things start to turn, it gets hard to control that and harness it in the right way. And I think Baker Mayfield is a perfect example of being an overly emotional quarterback. And when things are good, they're good. And when they're bad, they're really, really bad. And Justin's not that at all.
Right. When the chips are down, Herbert doesn't let it get to him. But when things are going good, anybody that follows the Chargers social media team, if you look it up on Twitter or Instagram, there's a nice slow motion shot of Herbert running with the ball, and my man's got a big old grin on his face. And that is like, that's the epitome of Herbert, man. Like, he's just having fun.
Yeah.
And having fun running. And I don't know how many rushing yards he had, but he definitely had more than 20. So we'll pat on the back for Wool Dog making at least
the boldest of
bold predictions.
Bold prediction.
But that's the thing, is he ran. Like, they let him run like that.
Yeah.
It obviously makes some bit of difference, especially on that fourth down play. There was like 4th and 8. Yeah, and he ran to get the first down. Like, that's what I want to see out of Justin, is being able to let him do that and not, again, I don't know if it's him making the decision not to run or if they've got a chokehold on him to not let him run. But either way, when he does that, he's obviously having a good time, and I want to see more of Justin Herbert having a good time. Now let's see. It looks like we've got a soundbite here from Herbert. What do we got here, Kev?
All right, yeah, this was after the game. It's a post-game
Let's
interview.
hear it.
Justin, what a win from this team. It took every ounce and every minute left on the board. What kind of consistency and composure did it take from this offense to not give up?
It's huge. And I think it's all the defense. They stepped up big time today, forced some turnovers, came up with some big stops, and those guys played so well all night. And props to those guys. Couldn't be more proud to be playing offense for them.
Can you even process what you've accomplished and how you are literally living your life dream right now?
Yeah, I think it's a product of all the hard work that we've put over the years, whether that's at Oregon or whether that's in high school. I've had some great teammates that have made me look a lot better than what I really am, and some coaches that have done a great job. And I think it's just a sign of all the hard work that we put in camp. And over these past couple of months, it's been tough, but I'm so glad to be here, and I know that no one's going to give up on us.
It's been fun to watch. Congratulations, Justin.
Thank you.
I love him so goddamn much.
I do
like
too.
he's like, I'm proud to run the offense for the defense. Like he's just like, you try and give him a compliment, and he's got like the ultimate shield where it's like bing bing
Right.
bing.
It's
bing,
always
deflect. Hit that guy with love. Hit that guy with love. It's just
like, don't look at me. Look at that
know.
guy over there. Look at what he did. He was so much better than me. Like it's
yeah. It's like he even said, what was that second one where he's like, these guys are making me look better than I really am. Like, whoa, dude. Like, Jesus. Like that's a little extremely selfless.
That's Justin Humble Herbert right there.
Yeah.
No, and I'm curious now because as a
Humbert. How about Humbert?
Justin Humbert.
Humbert?
We'll
Humbert?
put it on the list.
Humble Humbert.
From these last few years that we had Antonio Gates, everybody would constantly say, "Oh, did you know Antonio Gates? He played basketball in college." I wonder how many games or years it's going to take for people to like let go of the fact that Justin Herbert wrote "play for the LA Chargers" on that like little sheet and show the picture
It's
of
never
him
going away.
as a Chargers.
Right, never.
I mean, they're always going to be like,
never
"This
leave
is
him.
your life dream. Do you remember that this is your life dream?" It's like, dude, I can't forget it. Like, you guys bring it up every damn week.
Yeah, I promise you this. Every time we're in a primetime spot, that picture and that little like that thing that the piece of paper we wrote LA Chargers on it is going to, you're going to see it a lot. Whenever we have a primetime game, that will be up.
Did you know that Antonio Gates played basketball in college?
I did not know that.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that.
Wow.
He did.
I'm going to
Kent State sure did.
Wow. That's impressive. I like basketball.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, as far as deflecting love to other people, this also came from Fernando Ramirez. Justin Herbert says he is appreciative of QB coach Pep Hamilton for the way he has guided him from the offseason to this point. I completely agree. Thank you, Pep.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't know what Pep Hamilton's future is like in terms of like what offers he's going to get or where he's going to go, because he's made a statement in the NFL this year with working with Herbert. I hope he stays. Like, I don't know if that's something where you promote, like if it's even an option to promote him to offensive coordinator, if that's something you'd want to do. So I know he's an offensive play caller, right? Or he was. It's just, I don't want to lose Pep Hamilton. I think he's developed him so well.
But we just don't know. Like, we don't know what he's really done. It's like, obviously Justin is outspoken about how much he appreciates him, but position coaches, you have no idea what they're doing. A player could be doing great or poorly, but that doesn't mean that position coach is doing a good or bad job. Justin Herbert could just be that dedicated and like consistent with what he does and like so overly involved that no matter who that quarterback coach was, he would have done what he is doing, you know?
Well, speaking of his work ethic, there's another, just going off that, there was another one from Gilbert Manzano. Denzel Perriman said he knew Justin Herbert would be this good because he was his 5 a.m. workout partner in the offseason. To me, he's not a rookie. You see what he's doing, the decisions that he makes, and the plays he do make. I haven't seen a rookie do any of that. So that's just, I think it goes off what you're saying. He's working hard. He works his ass off.
He works hard. So it's like, as much as Pep Hamilton likely is a great coach, I wouldn't go so far as to say he's going to get a huge promotion and take over a position or a coordinator position, or like we as fans, we just don't know how much of an impact he's really had, or how much of it is just regardless of who was there, Justin was going to kill it, you know, because of his work ethic and his abilities.
Well, it's tough because for as far as to who to give the thanks to, obviously, you give all the praise to Justin Herbert, but a rookie quarterback coming into the NFL league doesn't normally do this good. Like normally they at least can say like, oh man, I sat behind Aaron Rodgers, or I sat behind, these other quarterbacks that like they taught me and I became that good of a quarterback because I was surrounding myself with these guys. And I mean, you could argue that he got some information from Tyrod and, learned from him. But with Tyrod out, it's like, okay, well, who is supporting this kid? Like, yeah, he might just have total raw talent, but the only other person that you can point to is Pep Hamilton, as far as being the one that's guided him to be as good as he has been in this league. Now, he could very well just be that good, but again, it's such a rare thing, you almost can't believe it.
Or Shane Steichen or Coach Lynn. No one wants to hear that it was potentially Coach Lynn.
No, and if it was, don't you dare tell me. I'll delete this.
Don't you say it either.
Right, no one wants to think
episode.
that or hear that, but maybe that they did have some big help in his career. Absolutely. And where it has gotten so far.
It's possible.
Well, I think it's important to remember too, like in Hard Knocks, he didn't know how to properly use a cadence. He didn't take snaps from under center. Like these are big things for a quarterback. Like that was just not something he did. And now he's doing it at like one of the highest levels. Like that's pretty incredible. And I think that has a lot to do with coaching. I'm not going to say which coach, but I think Pep Hamilton has something to do with
Probably.
it. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to tell you.
You Pep Hamilton for head coach is your new?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't want to lose him. So you got to keep some kind of consistency for Justin next year.
Yeah, I have no problems keeping Pep around in some capacity, whether that's QB coach or some other coordinator position. And if for whatever reason, if the Chargers front office felt that he should be the head coach, then that's what happens. But we will have to wait to see what exactly happens. Looking at some of the other stats, Justin Herbert is cool under pressure. Tell me something I don't know. He's got 99 completions under pressure. That's first. 1,293 passing yards under pressure. That's first. And 11 touchdowns. That's tied for first under pressure. Doom, 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 doom,
what
doom,
our offensive line? This is not like I like this. Well done. I like this stat. But I also it points out the fact that our offensive line is
garbage,
not protecting him.
Yeah,
it's just not
he's probably
him.
First in every category because every pass is
it
under
has
pressure.
To be under pressure. Yeah. He doesn't have a choice.
However they classify pressure, he's under it.
Yeah, he's always under it. I'm just fascinated with kind of this offensive line and these injuries. Bulaga can't stay healthy. It's his foot now.
I just can't believe that when we entered this year, my biggest question mark was Sam Tevi. And now it's like Tevi's
the anchor, right?
Tevi's like the anchor, and then our starting left guard, who's now our center, is our other like great offensive, like our two best offensive linemen. The most
reliable.
Like, one's playing out of position, and one we all had questions about.
Yeah, and Trey Turner getting past. He always seems to just. He gets these personal foul penalties.
He's lazy. He's standing straight up and down and reaching. He's just playing lazy, and I don't know. Like you say that he's like you said in the instant reaction, like everyone said he has his mean side and he's like aggressive bruiser. No, he just yanks people's face masks and he's lazy and stands up. Like I don't know. I haven't seen him do anything great, to be honest. I haven't seen one play where he's just dominated the guy across from him. Like maybe he's hurt all year, but good God, he's not playing. He's not earning the money that we're spending on him.
Absolutely not. And our inability to run the ball is just kind of crazy to me. And I think it has a lot to do with that our offensive line. Storm Norton had to play some more. It's just it's every year
we go
into the
Cole Toner on the sideline there as well.
Yeah, it's like every year we go into the offseason, like the big conversation is offensive line. Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
We haven't drafted an offensive lineman in how long in the first 2 rounds? Forrest Lamp was the only one in the first 2 rounds in forever, and he's not really done much.
It's his first full year. So hopefully we can figure that shit out.
Hopefully we can. And while we're trying to figure it out, Herbert's just eyeballing more records to break. Right now, completions for a rookie quarterback. Carson Wentz holds the lead from 2016. He had 379, but Justin Herbert's sitting comfortably behind him at 374. So 5 more completions. Justin Herbert takes that number 1 spot. And then passing yards for a rookie quarterback in NFL history. As we mentioned, Justin Herbert crested 4,000. He's at 4,034 to be precise. There's 3 others in front of him. Andrew Luck being at the top with 4,374, but Cam Newton and Jameis Winston, pretty damn close behind. Cam Newton's only got 4,051, so Herbert's only got to throw less than 20 more yards, and he's there.
He needs 330 yards on Sunday to tie Andrew Luck. So he needs 331 yards on Sunday to be the number one passing quarterback.
341. Yeah.
341.
Yep.
Yeah. And then if that'd be like, God, I hope he gets
That's
it.
a big game in Arrowhead.
That's a monster,
in December and
monster
January.
game.
That's
yeah.
a big game.
So
that's what's going to be interesting about this upcoming game, because I had heard it that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be benching Roethlisberger and probably some of their other starters. And with Kansas City being a guarantee into the playoffs, are we going to see Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, any of these other big players on Kansas City? Or are we going to be playing, second, third string team?
Yeah, so doing a little research on the Chiefs for next week. So basically, Reed said there's certain guys that will have an opportunity to rest. Reed said Monday via Sam McDowell of the Kansas City Star, "I've done that in the past. I've rested players, yes." And then it was said that Mahomes would presumably be one of the players resting for the Chargers' annual trip to the Midwest on Sunday. Though Reed didn't specify exactly who is slated to rest, he did say Chad Henne would be the club's quarterback if Mahomes doesn't play. So we may be facing Chad Henne.
I don't know. Like, it doesn't really matter to us. We face backup quarterbacks a lot and don't perform great.
Right. Yeah. And it's not even the backup quarterback that I'm concerned about. I'm more concerned about what defensive players are going to be playing and how well Justin Herbert can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Personally. I mean, again, I still want the Chargers to win. And if we're playing against Chad Henne, that's going to be better for our defense than playing against Patrick Mahomes. But if we want to see Justin Herbert smash some of these records, I'm curious if there's going to be any defensive players sitting out. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see what comes out.
I'm interested in who on our team is playing. Like, is Joey Bosa going to come out there and play a little bit? And is Uchenna Nwosu going to be healthy? And are we going to have some player? Is Keenan going to play, or are we going to sit because we're already out and these are our Pro Bowlers that we don't want getting more banged up? You know what I mean? So I think I'm interested in if we play guys.
Valid questions. Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully he can get that 341. That's what I'm looking for.
As long as Herbert is out there, that's all we care about.
3 numbers, guys. 3, 4, and 1. That's what you want to be looking for on Sunday.
We're looking for 3, 4, 1, baby. Oh, God. I can't believe it. For those that haven't listened to previous episodes, all 3 of us are going to be at this Kansas City Chief game this upcoming Sunday. We are going to be looking for number 10, and we are going to be cheering our butts off for him. Because this could be the game that we see these records getting broken, and we'll be able to see it live. So any other Charger fans that listen to this podcast that are going to be in Kansas City, definitely reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to say, hey, give some high fives or anything like that. But we are going to be at this game, so we are just that much more excited to see this go down. Looking at Pepsi Rookie of the Week, boy, I don't know. It was close, guys. Justin Jefferson pulled in 1% of the votes. That's
I don't think a lot of people in Minnesota have Twitter or computers, maybe.
Yeah.
No internet.
We work with smoke signals in Minnesota.
Yeah, there's something going on up there. Because our boy Justin Herbert got 74% of the Rookie of the Week vote.
How many is that? Is that 8 or 9?
I don't know. I can't keep track. I don't even know at this point.
So that's 7. Rookie of the Weeks that Justin Herbert's walking away from, and people are still questioning whether or not this guy's going to be Rookie of the Year. Get out of here. Get out of my face.
If Pepsi was in control of Rookie of the Year, he would be Rookie of the Year Pepsi style.
Yeah, I mean, listen, no slam against any of the other guys that are running up against.
No, Justin Jefferson's a great player. It's just,
great player.
You're not a quarterback like doing these incredible record-breaking things.
Exactly. Tell me how many records he's broken, and then I'll consider it.
Yeah.
Because unless it's the amount that our boy Air Bear Humbert
I don't know if I like that one. That was weird.
I like
it. It's
Humble Herbert.
I want to know. because if you can't say any, then you can't argue with that with him being the Rookie of the Year. You can't. I will not listen to you. I will turn around and walk away.
I think it was interesting too. There's another tweet Daniel Popper put up where Justin Jones, our D lineman, he said they just the players love him. He said we struck gold when we got Justin Herbert in the draft. Like
Definitely.
that's awesome. And it's like we talked about that before, where defensive players and offensive players, they kind of do their own thing. They're on separate places. They don't talk about each other all that much. And you got defensive guys coming out talking about it. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. That, I mean, if anything, that speaks again just to Justin Herbert's character and who he is as a player. I mean, he's letting the world know I'm good because of this defense. So defense better at least have a kind word or two to say about Herbert.
Yeah.
You know, just to be polite about it. But I can't imagine that that's the only reason. I'm sure that they see the talent that this kid has, both on and off the field. And we're just so thankful. I mean, how lucky are we to go from Phillip Rivers to Justin Herbert?
Seriously.
You couldn't have asked for anything better. And I can't imagine a separate timeline where we would have drafted anybody other than Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So you just put that to bed. We got Herbert and you don't, so deal with it. Let's see. We're looking also at the 2020 Charity Challenge leaderboard right now for the Man of the Year nominee. Right now, the man with the most votes gets $25,000 sent to the charity of their choice. And who do we see there at number 1? That's our man, Isaac Rochelle, defensive end for the Los Angeles Chargers.
And first place by quite a bit.
It's all on voting on Twitter, retweets, all this stuff. So, you know, I've been seeing it nonstop in my timeline, and they have Charger social media.
Yeah.
We have some fans, man. It is real. Like,
you hear that, Melvin Gordon?
Yeah. Suck
you
it.
Jerk.
You
Suck
jerk.
it. Look what you did.
Look what you did.
Jerk.
Yeah, like it's all fan voting. Like, and this is Isaac Rochelle that we're talking about. Like, I know that some people are becoming fans, at least of Justin Herbert, because of all the records that he's breaking, and happy to have you. But having an almost 30,000 vote lead over Justin Simmons in this is like, that's how many more fans that we have. Like, that's the most disappointing thing about this year in 2020 is not seeing how many Charger fans could actually fill that SoFi Stadium, because I have a feeling right now we'd at least be on the right side of having more Charger fans in that stadium than any other team.
Well, I don't know if necessarily, I don't know. I think it's more the passion is stronger for our fan base because you can vote multiple times. I think
true.
it is the most passionate fan base in terms of voting and in terms of just like getting behind our guys. Like, it's really awesome to see, and it's just a good community. And this is my like first real year, you know, getting involved in Twitter. It's been awesome. Just really great people out there.
A lot of great people out there, especially you, Karen. We know that you're responsible for at least 10,000 of those votes.
Yeah, at least.
All right. Well, now let's take a look at our injury report. As we watched the game last week, we all saw, or at least heard, that Rayshawn Jenkins went out mid-game, and turns out it's a high ankle sprain. Doggone it. According to Anthony Lynn, said it will be a challenge for Jenkins to play in the finale.
I know all about these high ankle sprains because I had Christian McCaffrey on my fantasy team, and he played a whopping 3 games this season with a high ankle sprain. So I'm going to go with probably not going to have Rayshawn on Sunday.
Man, I just want this team to stay healthy through a year. Could you guys please? Looking at some of the other injuries, Hayward also have a hammy issue. Balaga somehow hurt his foot. I don't know if he kicked something. God.
And hopefully, like, Joey comes back. He's still dealing with a concussion. He was a limited participant all week. So, you know, if he does get out of the concussion protocol, do you want him playing, or do you just kind of like put him down on the bench and not, you know, try and mess him up? Because that would be bad for our franchise. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Hopefully, you know, Lynn if there's any possible slight possibility option, maybe possibly that he could be the coach next year, he's got to beat the Chiefs. It's just got to happen. So I think it's whoever's available will be playing.
Well, and Bosa's a competitive guy, as we've mentioned before, and he's even mentioned himself. I got to think that he wants, if we can beat all 3 AFC West teams coming out of this season, like, how good is that going to feel for this team going into next year, knowing that even when we're out of playoff contention, we still beat these AFC West opponents. So, I mean, it's going to be, I think it's more up to Bosa than anybody else. And if he can clear the protocol, I think he's there. If he can clear it, then I think he's there. I mean, trying to stay healthy for Pro Bowl, I mean, it's great to get the recognition for going to the Pro Bowl, but that always feels like a whatever game anyways.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl's not even happening this year. They're just doing like a virtual Madden or something.
Is that what it is?
Yep. They already decided to cancel it a long time ago.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that they did.
So he's not saving himself for that. He's just, it's a risk, He had 2 concussions in 2 weeks. Like, even if he is ready, there is a serious thought to, like, maybe we don't play him. Like, it's not the end of the world, and we don't want to risk him getting another fucking concussion. 3 concussions in a month is bad news.
I agree. I mean, but it's a risk to go out on the field for anybody. Anybody can go out there and get a concussion. And I mean, is Joey Bosa more susceptible to them now that he's gotten 2 of them? I guess. I mean,
definitely.
If somebody goes out there and flicks him on the head, is he is he injured for the rest of the game? I mean,
it's serious, dude. Concussions are such a big thing, and it
sure.
ruins people's careers. So I would, me personally, I would play on the safer side of things if he's not 100%, and it's just scary. I don't want to lose him at all.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody's going to cattle prod him out there. I think if he's going to go out there, it's going to be under his own accord, and clearing obviously concussion protocols. So. We'll see if it happens. We'll be there at the game. But speaking of saving Lynn's neck, if we can win this last game of the season, looks like there was some information that came out from a Tony Pauline. Who is this Pauline character?
Yeah, I just found this online. It was from the Pro Football Network, and basically he had a quote on Coach Lynn's job security. I guess he has some insight. Pauline said, from what I'm told, no, Anthony Lynn's job security after this year. West Coast source told me it's about 20% he keeps his job after the season. Someone who is very close to the Los Angeles Chargers tells me that basically Anthony Lynn is going to be fired at the end of the year. Tony Pauline doubled down on that report in this week's episode of Draft Insiders. I haven't heard anything new since the report last week. If he's back, it's a very small chance. So... he's not putting up a source.
20% almost feels a bit too comfortably high
for a lot of Charger fans.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear a less than 10% chance of him coming back. 20 seems like at least you're still saying there's a chance.
But I think there is. You got to be realistic. You got to be slightly realistic about this. There's still a chance.
For sure. What's all that 1 in a million talk?
I know, seriously. Yeah, for real. So we'll see. He has to be impressive, and I don't. Last week's game was not an impressive win.
Right.
None of our wins are. None of our wins are due to coaching. It's due to players just making it happen.
Right. Or due to opposing teams double doinking or dropping passes.
Right.
Like that's not because of Coach Lynn's ability to coach. That's just us getting kind of lucky. Which again, we'll take it.
Also, our coach's hope in Urban Meyer is potentially coming true with some recent reports saying that other teams are kind of reaching out to him to see if he has any interest. So hopefully he has interest and he doesn't sign before we let go of our coach.
That's true. We've heard about 2 teams talking to Urban Meyer, one of them being, I think, probably Jacksonville Jaguars, but they haven't really said who the second team was. So maybe...
Yeah, we'll see. You got to be, they have to be trying to reach out. Like, I don't know if you can officially do that. They had some new rule they came out with where if you're a recent position was filled on a team, you can, have interviews via Zoom. Like, that was some new stipulation they put in there. So I don't know if that pertains to like a head coaching job that is still, the head coach is still there.
Not vacant.
Not an interim coach. So I don't know if we're able to really talk to anybody yet, but when we do, and honestly, you're maybe looking at about 7-8 days. Like, there's no reason to drag your feet on firing him if you're going to fire him. Like, if he's not gone,
no. If he's getting fired, it'll be Monday morning.
Yeah,
it'll be Monday morning.
If you're looking at 7 days from now, you should know. We'll know, and if we don't hear anything on Monday, probably a pretty good chance he's not going.
He's
anywhere.
not.
So
no.
just
if he's not fired Monday, he's not going nowhere.
Yeah. That's my thought, at least.
Well, there you go. You've heard it here first, folks. Mark your calendars for Monday. Well, now let's take a look over to Coach's Corner. And for Coach's Corner, we've got another Ask Twitter that Coach is going to base this off of. So I'm going to reaching in my bag of voices, and it's not very deep, but I've got one here. At least it comes as a request. This is from JP, aka Jesse O, who asked the question.
Yes, well, what improvements stand out the most in Justin's game from his first start until now? And what parts of his game do you think he should focus on in the offseason? Maybe work on his hard count and changing up his cadence. That's some high-quality H2O.
That was
Bobby
terrible.
Boucher. It was
That was my Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. That was a valiant effort. I like that.
It's a valiant effort. We may have the first name Adam, but I definitely don't have a good Adam Sandler in my back pocket. So what do you think there, Coach? What improvements stand out the most in Justin's game from his first start until now?
Yeah, it's a good question, JP. It's I think there's a lot of things that we don't always see going on behind the scenes that are going to be the biggest for him to work on in this offseason. Obviously, we've seen his ability to close out games. I think that comes with confidence and comfortability, feeling like he's a part of the team and supported. And I think that we've seen that via social media, some of the tweets and interviews that his teammates are giving. And you see him after the game getting so hyped with the other guys. And football is the ultimate team sport. If you don't feel like you're supported by your teammates, it becomes a lot harder to compete and be successful. So I think that camaraderie that he's building with his teammates, I think that'll be huge going into next offseason. Obviously, it's the little things that the questions that everyone had for him coming out of college was, can he go under center? He's proven that he can, but obviously he's going to get better. The hard count. I mean, his snaps in college were claps. That's all you did. You don't verbally articulate any in cadence. So getting better at that. We saw in Hard Knocks, Coach Lynn calling him out for not having there's no difference to his cadence. Like, you knew when it was a run, you knew when it was a pass. So all those little intricacies are going to get better and better. His game management, not looking at coach to call a timeout, but knowing when to call a timeout. All of the little ins and outs, getting us in the perfect play versus the front and coverage that he's seeing. There's so many things that he can continue to get better at. And that's what's incredible about Justin Herbert, is how well he's done with kind of a short deck. Like, he's done a great job, but he's not playing with a full hand right now. He's not right. He doesn't have all of those things under his belt to be truly successful. So I think there's a lot of different things, even breaking down film. I mean, the type of defenses that he sees last year compared to this year, playing divisional opponents, you see those guys twice a year, every year. Next year, when he plays all these guys, he's going to know the tendencies that these play callers had. He knows this safety and what he likes to do. He knows these corners like to come up, press, bump. He's going to know all of those things even more next year. So, I don't think there's any one aspect of his game that's not going to improve, except for maybe his arm strength. That's God given. He's developed that. It's not getting any stronger. So other than his arm strength, I think every aspect of his game is going to improve, especially with the work ethic that he has that we've seen so far. So it's gonna be pretty cool to see what happens next year in his sophomore season. I know there's been some QBs have had slumps, but I think most of that is those untraditional running style quarterbacks. Justin is a little bit more of that pocket passer that I think he's going to be successful in his sophomore year.
In the off season, is there one element in particular that you think, boy, if he can really just nail this aspect down, he's just going to just knock it out of the park?
I don't know. I think that his shortcomings aren't visible to the fan, whatever they might be. I think to us, like, you don't see the little things that he could not be doing. Mm-hmm. He hits the throws. There's some little inconsistent, like some throws that aren't great, but you can't expect the quarterback to be perfect all the time. So
sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how he's checking like pass protection. I don't know what he's doing in aspect of those types of things. So I don't know how to answer that perfectly. I don't know exactly what it is that he needs to do better. If I knew every aspect of everything that was going on inside the locker room, it'd be easier to answer that question, but he does all the things surface level that we can see. He does a pretty elite at everything that we see.
And to kind of tag on that, I think the biggest thing going into next year is just consistency. Like, you've seen what he did in Oregon, and that was all based on like 3 different offensive coordinators and new head coaches, and like the kids never had consistent leadership for a team. So I think if there is some form of consistency, I'm not saying Coach Lynn, but if there is some form of consistency, I think that's going to be a huge perk for him, because that just it isn't something he's had in his college or college career up to this point. So I think that'll be big to see what the Chargers do to help him with that.
And that's why I don't want to see Shane Steichen go. I really, really don't. I don't think he's done a poor job. I think he's been negatively influenced at times by Coach Lynn. But I think if you took those chains off and let him run with an offense with that comfortability and familiarity with Justin, I think it could be a pretty dynamic duo.
Yeah, definitely an argument to keep Steichen and possibly Pep Hamilton around to be those leaders for him. So excellent. Well, thank you, Coach. Thanks for shining a light on that. And now let's take a look over to Fan Focus. And who do we have this week, Kev?
Well, he's in Twitter all the time, man. It's the Salty Sports guy.
Salty Sports Dude,
aka Salty Sports Dude. So we reached out to him, had a little conversation, and had a chat. So let's check it out. All right, we are here with a special guest. We have Salty Sports Guy, aka Salty Sports Dude. Thanks for coming on. And this is actually David from South Carolina. We have a name to the Salty Sports Guy. So how's it going, David?
It's out now.
Yeah, the secret's out of the book. Yeah. How's it going, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. All right, cool. So in Fan Focus, as you probably know, we want to get to know a little bit about you. So how did you become a Charger fan?
So as a kid, I wasn't super into football, but my dad was. So there was always football on TV Saturday, Sunday. And he was a huge Rams fan and really did not like the Chargers at all, because I guess some of his friends were Charger fans or whatever. So as a kid, I liked football, but it wasn't a priority. But watching cartoons was. And I was always upset that there was football on and not the stuff I wanted to watch. So sort of as a rebellion, I decided I would pull for the Chargers since he hated him so much.
Nice, a smite pick. I like it.
That's right. So that's how it started, and that was like the mid-'90s. So I got to see the Super Bowl run and all that stuff. By the time I got to high school, I was very much into football. So then I started to become like hardcore fan. Football in South Carolina is a big deal. So, it became a way of life for me. Like my high school team had like 3 NFL players on it. So, so football is a big deal around here, and made me just like the NFL even more. So then I became a hardcore Charger fan. I went from being like, yeah, I like them, to, I want to have my jersey on, my Charger socks, my Charger wallet, anything Chargers. It was me. So that's when I came into a toxic relationship with the Chargers.
I know, it's very toxic. We've experienced, and you've been a fan for a while. We had the Natron Means and Humphreys, and like that's kind of when I got going too. So that was cool, big. Cool. But yeah, it's so interesting. Like as I keep bringing it up, we're talking to all these fans from all over the country. It's so awesome. So like, what was the real deciding factor on becoming a Charger fan? Was like from being just like a passive, like, okay, I'll watch the Charger games on Sundays, to like, all right, this is my team, this is what we're doing.
So like I said, I started to really get into football more, and then I just started to watch more. And when LT came and Gates, and then we got Rivers, it just, the team was good, and I kind of liked being the only Charger fan in South Carolina. It feels like, because all my friends were Panthers and Falcon fans, and for me, it was like, it was nice to pull for the kind of team that nobody thought about. And then we had that great 14-2 season with Marty. And, I was proud to wear my Charger jersey, and, it stuck, man. I couldn't let him go.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm feeling that now a little bit, like with this Herbert stuff, man. I've always been a diehard Charger fan, but like, there's this new like spark of excitement.
100%.
It's really fun. So what are your thoughts on Herbert?
Oh man, I love him. I mean, I knew right away with that first drive. I was like you guys. I kind of had my reservations about him. I wasn't super thrilled with the pick, but that first drive against the Chiefs, I was like, he's something special, and that's every week. It seems like he makes me think, wow, I can't believe we got this guy, and it's been awesome. Like whenever the Chiefs had Mahomes a couple years ago, I was like, man, the Chiefs are so lucky to have a guy that they can count on for the next decade. And then just a few years later, I feel like that now. I feel like, for the next decade, we got a chance as long as we got 10 back there slinging the rock,
Absolutely. It's definitely exciting. And it's that weird thing where I always had with Phil where, most quarterbacks when they're in third down and long, you're like, oh man, this is done. With him, it's like I'm not even worried about third and long with Herbert. Like he's gonna come up with some amazing plays, he's gonna scramble, he's gonna throw something crazy. It's just exciting to be a fan. So let's jump into the Bronco game. What were your thoughts? It was definitely roller coaster for me, and I thought we were gonna put up tons of points, and then it just kind of like pump the brakes a little bit. Like, what were your thoughts on the game?
I mean, I'm so happy to beat the Broncos. It's not even funny. It was a roller coaster for me too, but every game is,
Yeah.
And like, I was super happy to see Badgley actually come through and hit all his field goals because we really relied on him because we couldn't really get the ball in the end zone. I was happy for that. I was still not sure if we're going to have him next year, but it was awesome to see him, and come in and make his kicks, like he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he's so we have such a love-hate relationship with him. And I hope he can pull it together. I still am not quite on board yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm glad he was able to pull it through and get us that win. So all right, so now we have 2 straight AFC West wins, which we haven't had for a while. This is pretty awesome. So we're going into a third game. We're going to play the Chiefs. So what are you excited about for that game?
I mean, to win 3 in a row against the AFC West after the past few years against the AFC West would be amazing. I know they're probably going to rest their starters, but I'll take a win over the Chiefs anytime. A few weeks ago, I was definitely on as long as we lose, we'll get a higher draft pick. But after the 3 last wins we've had, I'm like, who cares about draft?
It tastes good, dude.
Get a win, man.
It just feels better. Like I just feel better about myself when we win. I don't care about the draft picks right now.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about it. I mean, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But Sunday feels a whole lot better, whenever you can say, hey, Chargers won, and look for the highlights and not avoid ESPN for a week. You don't want to see them talking about the Chargers negatively again.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch ESPN and those kind of thing when everyone's loving on our boy. It's pretty awesome.
It's great. It's great, man.
So, all right, David, I appreciate your time, man. It was really nice having you. Man, bolt up and let's go kick some Chief ass on Sunday.
Yeah, man. And before I go, I just want to say thank you guys for the podcast. It's been, besides Herbert, it's been a rough season, but listening to you guys every week is like a highlight, man. So thank you guys for doing this every week. Appreciate it, man.
We appreciate you and everyone who listens. It reaches out to us. It means a lot. So, and thank you for reaching out and be like, hey, how do I get on one of these fan focuses? I'm like, let's go now. Let's do it. So we appreciate you interacting and being a part of it. So, we appreciate it, man. So, all right, well, have a good week and we'll see you on Sunday.
Sounds good. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. So now we know what the salty sports guy sounds like. And,
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. It's like, we're doing this because we like talking about Chargers and meeting new people and just, us coming closer together as friends. So to hear people are getting something out of it and it's fun for them and it's something they look forward to is huge. It's really
awesome.
huge.
And I love that our tagline makes people say I love you.
Yeah, it's dope, dude.
It forces.
You have to be positive on this podcast. You're forced to
you don't have a choice. Yeah. If you want to be in on the Charger Chat podcast, you have to say I love you, basically.
Yeah.
To random other men that like the Chargers.
We need that. We need more of that. We need more of that.
We need more of that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That was a nice thing to hear as we wrap up this 2020 year. But we've got a couple other sound bites as we go into Ask Twitter. Who else do we have this week?
Nice
Kevin?
one.
Nice enunciation.
Nice.
It's nice.
So we got Craig, obviously.
Obviously, we got
Kyle's
Craig.
Replacement. Craig is chimed in.
Shut up. Love you, Craig.
No, we're kidding. We love Craig. He's our sideline reporter. Yeah, and I listened to his little recording beforehand. I'm just gonna say, I think he might give you a little run for your Pee Wee Herman money, Woldog.
Oh shit!
Let's check this shit out.
I'm ready.
3 dubs in a row, capped off by a win against a division rival in a close game. What the hell? Are we on like the AFC West revenge tour to end the season? I'll take it either way. Sign me up for that all day long. And Jay Herbo, kid goes out there and breaks the rookie passing record for TDs. How lucky are we to move on from Phillip Rivers and have a superstar QB fall right into our laps? Pretty fortunate. Now, all this does come with a caveat for me. You guys know how I feel. Another win for Anthony Lynn means a step closer to this guy securing his job somehow. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I know he's not put on the best showing all year long, so none of this adds up to him actually keeping his job, but we are talking about the Spaniard here, particularly old Johnny boy. And it seems like he pulls all the strings and Telesco just follows orders. Well, we'll just have to see how this ends. Looking forward to you guys going out there to KC and enjoying yourselves, hopefully in a win to finish the season off. Either way, my prediction for that one, haven't done one of these in a minute. I'm going to say Chargers 31, KC 28. Let me know what you guys think about that moving forward and how the rest of the year looks. And particularly, what do you think the odds are that Lynn weasels his way into another at least year on the job? Either way it goes, love to hear what you guys think. Talk to you later. Okay, love you. Bye.
Dude, you gotta have a Pee Wee Herman off. So awesome. That was dope. Yeah, I agree. That's it. I love the revenge tour 2020.
That's good.
You know what really sucks about being a Charger fan?
What?
We win football games, and there's so many different scenarios to think about why we shouldn't win football games. It's like, do we want to win? But what about our draft pick? But what if we don't get rid of our head coach? But what? It's like, do we want to win or do we not want to win? I don't know. I want to win, but I don't want to win. I don't know I don't know what to think anymore.
It's a glass case of emotions, man. It really is.
Because you could make the argument. Like,
there's an argument to be made.
Three weeks ago, there was no argument for Coach Lynn.
Right.
There was none. Not even a single. I thought he was going to get fired before they got on the plane after that Patriots game.
Right.
And then now it's like, if he beats every AFC West opponent, there's at least an argument, and there's an ounce of fear in me and all of our fan base that he might pull this off. Like, he might just protect his job, which freaking
I think we don't talk about it, but I think they might be on the hook for some money with him too, because they just extended his contract. So
yeah, for sure, yeah. If they let him go, they're gonna have to pay him. Yep, for sure. They'll pay him a year, and he won't be the coach.
You got to factor that in. You got to factor in this kind of weird run at the end, and I'm gonna go with the 20% that the insider. No, like that's a good enough number for me.
I think it's a pretty darn good percentage. Yeah, I think there's a 20% chance he sticks around,
and it's scary. It's really scary.
Hopefully we can get some of more of these wins in spite of our coaching.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It really is. I mean, and not even just for Coach Lynn. I mean, it's also kind of frustrating for Badgley, because like you want to not be happy with him. You want to be mad with him. But then when you look at this last game and it's like the only reason we won is because he made all his dang kicks. Like, it's this end of the season garbage. Like, where have you all been, Coach? Where have you been?
Like,
Badgley,
I don't want to see you do
been?
good now.
Yeah. Don't come back at me now. Like you've done nothing wrong all year.
I've already broken up with you guys. Don't be all good now.
Flowers now means nothing. Okay.
Yeah. They're trying to make me jealous, Badgley and Coach Lynn.
It's so
just
tough.
Leave me alone.
It's so tough. You want to
my number already. Jesus.
Right. We want to like at least at some point feel like we're on some kind of solid ground, whether that means like we're making the playoffs or we're cutting our coach or we're getting a draft pick. Like, we want a solid ground. Like, we feel like we're going to get this, and you don't get it. No, it's thin ice.
We're
going to
keep our coach. We're going to keep our kicker, and we got a number 15 draft pick. That's what happened.
The worst case scenario in the last 1 month ago, we could not have fathomed that.
If we have to win in Arrowhead. I'm sorry, fan base. If we don't win, I'm going to be so pissed off, because
we do.
Last time I went there, we lost, and they were obnoxious and not nice at all. So we have to win on Sunday. I don't care what the repercussions are.
That's right.
Same.
I don't either. So thank you, Craig. Always good to hear from you. You've got the best. I love your stuff, man. All right, we've got one more soundbite here. Who do we have here next?
We have Scott from OC. And he did a little deep dive on potential opponents next year, because it's all based on how you finish, and he did a little rundown for us. So I think we should give it a little listen here.
Hey boys, Scott from OC here, coming at you, let's say satisfied after Sunday's win against the Broncos. And you know what? We pulled it off. Sure, we blew another double-digit lead, but we came out with a dub, and we can't say that about last time we played. My eyes still hurt from saying that live. But anyways, my question for you guys this week is actually revolving more around the scheduling for next year and how that can change within the next week. So let's see. So right now we're scheduled to play the AFC North, which is the Steelers, the Browns, the Ravens, the Bengals, the NFC East, which is the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, the Washington football team, and of course, we play the AFC West teams twice. But as we know, the final two games are decided by where we place in our division, and we play the teams that place in that same position in the AFC South and the AFC East. And right now, we currently sit third in the AFC West. Who would have thought, right? And right now, with that third place schedule, that is against Bill Belichick's Patriots and Deshaun Watson's Texans. Now, if we beat the Chiefs and let's say the Broncos beat the Raiders and with some mathematical phenomena, we finish with the second place schedule, that means we play against Tua's Dolphins and Phillip Rivers' Colts. Now, again, that's a long shot, and that could possibly mean that Anthony Lynn stays, but we do get a chance to play Rivers and let's say hopefully in the new stadium. Or we could lose against the Chiefs, and the Broncos could beat the Raiders. And again, I don't know the math on this one. We could end up having a fourth place schedule, which is against the probably Trevor Lawrence Jaguars and Sam Darnold or Justin Fields' Jets. So based on the opponents we are already playing, what place schedule do you guys prefer? I mean, I personally would like to win and see where that goes, but I'm going to quote Craig from Texas here when he says, I always want the dub, but at what potential cost? Let me know what you guys think. Keep bolting up. Good luck in Kansas City. Hope you have better luck than I did. Okay, love you. Bye.
Awesome, Scott. That was great rundown.
That was so dramatic.
Dude,
but
literally the thought of playing Phil, I don't know if
I don't want that to happen.
My heart could handle
worst
that.
Worst case scenario. Yeah, I could not do that. I can't do that.
Absolute worst
we can't
case.
Do that.
But the likelihood of it possibly happening, we have to beat the Chiefs. Like the thing we all want to see happen live could force us into a position where we might have to play Phillip Rivers next year.
No, I don't want to play Phil. But he's on a 1-year deal. He might not even be there. So I don't want to play Phillip Rivers. Just bring Phillip Rivers back.
Yeah.
He can be our head coach.
Kyle, you got all the answers.
I mean, yeah, we always
Frank,
we would love that.
We should just forfeit that game. Just we all show up and I'm not worthy on the sideline, and they win.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I don't really want to see that happen, but at the same time, playing against Phil and being on the opposite side of his jawing, I kind of want to see that. Like, I kind of want to see.
Would be explosive.
I want to see him like yelling at Joey or yelling at just any of our other defensive guys. Like
Joey pops him and he's just jawing at him.
I kind of do want to see that. Like,
I don't want
to
be good. But then what do you want to win? But then poor Phil. I don't know.
We can tie that game. We can tie that game, right? We can just tie.
No, I don't want it. I'm on board with Kyle. I don't want that in any way, shape, or form.
We either want to win this Sunday or we don't want to play Phil. So you make your decisions.
I want to win. So the Raiders can win, and then we'll be okay. Third place. But I don't want that either because I'd rather be ahead of. I want to come in second. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm getting stressed out. So yeah, I am fully not on board with Phil playing Phil. So. Yeah,
I am and I'm not. We'll just have to wait and see. And right now, let's just focus on one game at a time. And right now, Kansas City Chiefs, we want them to win. Let's see them win. Let's see Herbert break all those records and all that good stuff. So,
yes.
Thank you, Scotty. Always good to hear from you. And now let's go into the bulk of our Ask Twitter. Salty Sports Guys double dipping as we start off with him, aka Salty Sports Dude.
Did you guys get what you wanted for Christmas? Beating the Broncos and having Herbert don't count. LOL.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, talk to me.
I kind of hinted my wife that I really wanted a Justin Herbert jersey. and I didn't get a Justin Herbert jersey.
Holy shit. You want to air that out to everybody?
I love my wife. I love my wife. Just want to say I love my wife. But I was kind of Christmas morning. I felt like I was like 9 again. I was like, "Wait, we're running out of presents under the tree. I don't think Herbert's coming my way this year."
Hey Josie, did you forget something in the back of the closet?
Nope.
Yeah.
Is there one hiding back there?
I need my BB gun, honey. You got the BB gun in the closet, but I'll be all right. I'm a big boy. I'll be okay. What about you guys? Did you get everything you wanted for Christmas?
Yeah, I mean those. I've been drinking from a glass here that's got the Charger etched into the glass, and it says Wool Dog on it. So I'm pretty damn satisfied from my Charger brethren, and I know that there's going to be a signed Austin Eckler mini helmet. That's going to be my first signed anything. That's from Kyle the Coach Duggan. So I know that I've gotten some pretty sweet gifts from my Charger co-hosts. How about you, Kai? Did you get anything good?
Yeah. Yeah. My wife surprised me with a 2021 Toyota Tundra TRD Premium 4x4. It's ridiculous.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's my dream. Basically, my dream car that I walked out to on Christmas morning.
Holy cow!
It's crazy.
Yep.
Good gravy. Good for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost don't want to I low-key don't want to go to Kansas City because I don't want to leave my car for that long.
What color is it?
It's all black on big black. Yeah, it's sick. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's so cool.
That's awesome. All right.
So
well, there
Kyle
you go.
got a truck, and I didn't get a Herbert jersey.
Yeah. Apparently Kevin didn't get anything else. He just got
digging
nothing.
that grave right now. You know your wife's listening to this.
I love you, Josie.
God. All right. Next, we've got an old favorite, Tyler Foffey, reaching out to us, a.k.a. the Iowa Bolt Fan 54, asking us a question. I was really hoping the Falcons would have beat the Chiefs last week to make this game more interesting. But that said, the Chiefs will likely rest their starters. What are the chances Herbert breaks the passing yards and the reception records for a rookie?
The last is the best thing in the world. Because I know it's coming.
It's coming.
And I'm so excited. I think he's gonna break the completions record for sure.
Easily, yes.
But the 340 yards at Arrowhead when it's like 20 degrees, it's gonna be tough. He could do it for sure.
Actually,
but it's gonna be tough.
I think we're looking more at a 48-degree weather, but it will be cold. It will be cold.
If any positives, it's like what you just said. Like some of the, if they do decide to bench some of the players, that's only a benefit to Herbert. So if anything, that's going to help in that facet. But and there's a part of me that wants him. I want him to play against Mahomes. I want him to have the opportunity to beat Mahomes. So if they don't play Mahomes, that's going to be kind of a letdown. But it could help him.
We will just have to wait and see. Andy Reid is playing his cards close to the chest, so as the game gets closer, we will find out what exactly Kansas City team we are going to be playing against. So thank you, Tyler. Always good to hear from you. Next, we've got Zach Whitaker, a.k.a. Real Tone Diggs, who asked the question.
Really?
I didn't read ahead. I didn't know what was coming. So good.
I mean, are y'all as scared shitless as me that Lynn is gonna keep his job? Seems like it's just destined to be the case. And I'm out here in Western Kentucky, so I really appreciate you guys and what you do. Gives me that much more Charger content. Oh, you chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, we love you. Hi ho.
Can I ask you a few questions? Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm scared as shit. I'm super scared that Lynn probably could come back. It sucks. It's scary.
I just don't. I don't want to think about it. I just don't. Like it's fun to look at what the potential coaches could possibly be, but thinking that it's still going to be him. Like, God, it hurts my stomach. I just don't want to think about it. Let's just wait. Just see what happens. And if we get kicked in the nuts, we get kicked in the nuts. If you can't avoid it, you can't
deal
avoid
with it as it comes. Yeah, we can't avoid it. We have no control.
We can't preemptively kick ourselves in the nuts. You got to wait for the actual nut kicking. You don't want to hurt them before you actually get kicked. So
don't think about it too much. It'll hurt
it's
more.
better if it's a surprise. Like if it just happens, you're like, what the fuck? What was that? Like and then it just happens. But if you're like,
swift,
oh man, here it comes.
That makes it worse.
Yeah,
sure, it makes it worse. Yeah, just wait for that fateful Monday.
Thank you, Zach. Good to hear from you. Next, we've got a Zach Marincic, who asked the question:
have you guys checked out Elijah Molden's film? I think he would be a great fit for us.
Have you checked it out, Kyle?
Yeah. So based on this response, I did a little bit of digging. Did some surface level looking stuff. I like to watch the Pac-12. He's a corner out of Washington. Looks like he's kind of fit to be a nickel corner type. He's a little bit of a smaller guy, 5'10", $180. So, yeah, those kind of guys are great to have. I don't know how it's going to fit in our scheme with who we have. Chris Harris is kind of our nickel corner already, and he's still under contract next year. Based on who our defensive coordinator is, which we still don't know how that'll end up either. What kind of defense that we're going to run. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know a whole lot about him, and if he's a big man-to-man guy or he's a cover guy, or based on his size, I would assume he's more of a quick twitch man-to-man guy, which if Gus Bradley's still the guy, don't know if he has a huge role to play in our style of defense. But everyone's saying that he's bound to be an underrated, underdrafted guy. He's looking to go late second, early third round. And those guys, that's where you can hit a big time with some of these guys that you don't really know much about, that can perform on Sundays. And so if we end up drafting him early third round, middle of third round, where we're slated to go, that'd be awesome. But I don't really see the fit. I could see a true outside corner in case we don't keep one of our guys, in case we don't keep Mike Davis, but the nickel corner inside guy, Chris Harris, kind of got that role locked up a little bit. So I don't see that being a huge fit for us and something that we're necessarily looking for. If he falls to us, maybe.
There you go. All right. There's your official coach's analysis. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. Next, we've got Brian LaRoe, a.k.a. Wonderful WK32D, who asked the question: how do you guys feel about each unit on the team? We're obviously set at QB. I think our wide receiver, tight end, and linebacker groups are okay. If we can get a decent O-line, I think the running game can improve with that group. Still holding out for Kelly. Hard to balance reality and hope for breakouts. Seems the O-line and defense need the most help.
Yeah, for me, the tight end's interesting because hopefully we re-sign Hunter Henry because that we need. I think that needs to be shored up.
What? But now that you mention it, there was a tweet that came from Melvin Ingram that said that he's planning to switch to tight end. Is there any validity behind that tweet? Like,
don't know.
He's never gonna do that. I mean, the money that he's gonna miss out on by trying to do that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it has to be a joke.
Dude, every interview with Melvin Ingram makes me think like he is on another planet. Like he just doesn't think like the rest of us. So, what if that was a possibility of Hunter Henry and Melvin Ingram?
You and I, no way. I wouldn't sign. No way.
Well, that's the thing though, is you could sign him and you're not going to pay him anything as a tight end if that's what he wants to pay.
Be like, we're going to bring you in as a tight end, but we might throw you out there a few times on defense. I hope you're
right,
okay
because we
with
keep getting injured.
But
so
pay him tight end money.
Might have you come in.
Yeah, but you're not going to pay him. He's going to get paid somewhere as a pass rusher, and those guys make big money. Tight ends don't make the money that pass rushers make.
Dude, it's a joke. He jokes about playing quarterback all the time. It's a joke. But back onto the question, I think offensive line is by far the biggest thing we need to focus on.
Agreed.
It's you need to protect. You have our guy now. You need to protect him. And you look at what Phillip Rivers is doing over there in Indianapolis with like one of the best offensive lines in football. He's looking awesome.
Right.
So our awesome player who's doing all this stuff under pressure, get him some help. He's going to be even better.
Right.
So that's O-line hands down. And then I think linebackers, once we get Drew Tranquil back, that's going to shore everything up. And I would like to bring Perriman back. I think he's just
crossed.
fun to watch.
Yes, fingers crossed. Love to have Perriman back. Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you very much. Next, we've got Super Bolts 34, a.k.a. Super Bolts 28, who asked the question. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for every weekly episode that you guys provide for us. It has been an ass of a season, but you guys make it fun after a loss. Question: put on your GM hat. Who would you hire as a coach right now and why? This question is for all three of you guys. Bolt up and kick ass in Kansas City. Love you, bye. To infinity and beyond.
Nice one, dude.
Just in case anybody didn't know what I was going for in that voice.
Like, I know DeBall. How do you pronounce his last name? DeBall?
Brian Daboll?
Brian Daboll. I know he's a lot of people's like favorite right now. Right now, just the fact that Urban Meyer could possibly come in the NFL, I think that's exciting as hell. And just for the sheer fact of pairing him back up with Joey Bosa would be dope. So that's kind of that's just my answer right now. It might change tomorrow. Probably going to change a week from now once we get rid of our coach, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think
who would you hire? Not, I don't know. Just if you're the one in charge, who would you hire?
Based on right now, I don't know, like personal stuff, haven't done huge digging, don't have interviews. I would hire Urban Meyer if he wanted the job.
Yeah.
I just think the guy's a head coach. He's built programs. He's managed coaches. He knows how to set up personnel. He has plenty of connections to put together a coaching staff. That's the guy that I would trust. I don't know. It's hard for me to put the whole organization's future with what we have right now, needing to capitalize on Herbert's rookie contract, into a guy that's been a good coordinator. Just has never done the job. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. But I think Todd Bowles is a good option as well. I think he'll be a big candidate. But other than that, I don't know. I get scared. I'm going to support whoever they decide on, but it'd be hard. It's a hard thing as a GM. I don't know.
Yeah. I think for me, not knowing a whole lot, my vote would also go to Urban Meyer. I feel like it's a bit of a stretch, but if it was up to me, I would absolutely want a head coach, one that's been there before, one that I think will only help this team, including Herbert. I mean, I would like to see us build around Herbert. That includes the offensive line. That includes getting a coach. Build it around this guy who is the franchise for all intents and purposes. I mean, he is the franchise quarterback for the Chargers for the remainder of his career, as far as I'm concerned. So let's get the right talent in there to make that happen. So we'll see. Time will tell, but thank you, Super Bolts. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the kind words.
Yes. All right. Well, next we've got Adam Spellhaug. He was with us as a fan focus a couple episodes ago. He asked the question, oh, yeah, Lynn stay if they beat the Chiefs? I don't know about that. Gonna barf.
Gonna barf. Maybe 20%. I'm sticking with it.
Let's not give him any more credit than 20%.
I think if he beats a backup team Chiefs, I don't think his stock goes up that much.
Right.
If he were to beat like the full roster, everyone's playing Chiefs, I think he goes from like a 20% to like a 25-30%. I still think he's made so many just bonehead mistakes this year that they're just like unforgivable. I don't know how you could move past that.
Right. Because it continues. Yeah, it continues to be an issue. Excellent. Thank you, Adam. Always good to hear from you. And last we have Alexis McWilliams, aka Sailor Elzami, who asked the question,
Now that Herbert has broken almost every rookie record, what records would you like to see next year for offense in general? P.S. Told you I'd get a question this week. Go on, Jesse. Make your peeps and poops.
That's the worst Herbert voice I've ever done. I am so sorry. I am so sorry to Family Guy fans.
Valiant effort. I just records for offense. I want wins, dude. I want a whole bunch of wins next year. So in terms of like the stats of the top 10 offense and lots of wins, double-digit wins is what I'm looking for next year.
Stats that I'd like to see are second half stats. I want to see us be able to perform and close out games with our offense in the second half and just put points up. Like, I feel like we always come out hot first half. We come put up points, and then we try to run the ball and shut things down. And I want to be able to put up points. I want to lead the league in points in the second half. That would be my goal for our team.
That's a good one. I can get on board with that for sure.
The record that I want is Super Bowl champion. That's what I want.
Yes.
That's what I want. So thank you, Alexis. Good to hear from you again. And then lastly, to end out Ask Twitter, we've got Papa Duggan, who squeezed in here at the last second, who asked the question.
In the NFL, a win is a win. You have over a third of the league still in contention for the playoffs. Every week is tough. That's why coaching is so important and why they need to make a change. Enjoy beating anybody, even if it took the Sour Badger to do it. I will expect you guys to go off on ownership as soon as they give the staff a vote of confidence. But be your positive selves in the next 6 days. Where am I?
Our dad is not that old, but that is so good.
That was his request. I did it. It was his request.
It was
he wanted
perfect.
The old
Just
man
so
voice.
Everyone knows, though, our dad is not that old.
Not that old.
Yeah, those that have been on the podcast before, I mean, you've heard Papa Duggan's voice. It does not sound at all like that. And in fact, nobody's voice that I've done tonight sounds probably remotely except
close
maybe
to what they sound like.
Maybe Adam. Maybe I got my Fargo accent down there, but yeah, it's
Didn't really hear a question in there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
There really wasn't.
Say.
I think I'm like going through this. I'm looking for a question mark, and I don't even see it. So all I see is exclamation points, and I like that he refers to Badger as the Sour Badger.
I think it's a good reminder, though.
Sour Badger.
It's a good reminder, though. A win's a win. We need to be excited about W's in the NFL because they're hard to come by, and also a lot of our issues are always going to stem from ownership. It's hard to continue to blame coach after coach after coach. We'll blame coaches when they go 14-2. We'll blame coaches when they don't call the right timeouts. We'll blame coaches when too many injuries happen. But at the end of the day, that one constant for the last however many years that the Span I have owned the team, that they're the continual issue. And I think it's good to point that out. And it doesn't mean we're going to stop loving the Chargers. It doesn't mean we're going to start rooting for them. But that is a big issue for us.
All right. There is always a man behind the curtain, and it's a Span I nonetheless. So thank you, Papa Duggan. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from all of you in our Ask Twitter. We really appreciate it. As we mentioned, the upcoming game is the Kansas City Chiefs. They have only one loss this year. And last time we beat them was back in 2018, which was the sweetest win.
That night game.
That was Anthony Lynn's best game as far as calling the play to go for two, and if you don't make it, you've lost. That was his highlight. So looking at Kansas City, we don't know what kind of a team we're going to be playing against. We'll find out as the days get closer, but as we wait, we always want to make our bold predictions for Kansas City. I'm going to look at Mr. Hug and Duggan first. What are you predicting for this Kansas City game?
I'm going 34-31 win. Herbert throws 341 yards. If I hit this, guys.
No, just wait. My bold prediction, 34-31 Chargers. Justin Herbert, 341 yards. We're on the same
Wait, you're
book.
just going to copy mine?
Dude, that's exactly what I have written down right here.
Whoa.
Same exact bolt prediction. It has to happen.
Oh my God. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
We're going to be in person. We might as well do this together. Adam, do you want to get in on this?
Yes. I'm all for it. Let's just
34,
across the board.
31,
31, 341 from Herbert.
Oh my God. This is great.
This is a first, folks. This is a first. I love it, though. All right. Well, there you go, folks. That's the end of this Charger Chat podcast. Thank you all for sticking around with us. We always appreciate it. Love hearing from all of you guys, especially after these wins. They are just that much sweeter when you get to share it with Charger fans from all over the globe. And we can't express it enough how much we appreciate all of you listening and reaching out to us. So don't forget to bolt up, because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
See you in Kansas City, boys.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
You know, friends, when Old Man Winter comes around, nothing keeps me warmer than a big bowl of chili. And what kind of chili, you ask? Why, I'm talking about T-Billy chili. We know you like your chili mean, so we only use the freshest ingredients, the spiciest peppers, and 83 secret herbs and spices that make you say, "Sweet T-Billy, that's some good chili." So come on down to your local grocers to pick yourself up a can of T-Billy chili today.